Hey people, let's talk about Buddhism. First off, who was the Buddha? Well, our story is going to start in the year 564 BC. Buddhists believe that a child was born to a king and queen in India. The king and queen named the child Siddhartha. Everyone say Siddhartha. An old wise man visited Siddhartha and claimed that he would one day be a great and powerful emperor. The king grew happy because he wanted his son to be a powerful ruler. The wise man also said that if Siddhartha ever left the palace, then he would become a popular spiritual leader, but would not be rich and powerful. Oh my God. He could either be rich or he could be famous. What's gonna happen? What would you choose? The king would rather his son be rich. So the king forbid Siddhartha from leaving the palace. He was on permanent grounding. He was permanently grounded. Also, the king did not want his son to ever suffer, so he forbid any sick or dying person to be in his presence. The king also ordered the palace workers to sweep away any dead or decaying plants. Siddhartha grew up never knowing pain, sickness, or even death. Must be nice. Siddhartha married a princess when he was 16. Ooh, and fell madly in love with her. They had many children, oh damn, and grew happy together in the palace. I guess that makes him a big daddy. Hey! That's right, Siddhartha. That's right. One day, a musician visited the palace and sang a lovely tune about the wonders of the world outside the palace. Siddhartha was captivated. He reasoned with his father that if he could not be a good ruler, if he did not, that he could not be a good ruler if he did not know the lands that he would rule over. The king agreed and let him leave the palace. Siddhartha came across a sick man and could not comprehend what was happening to him. Then he found an old man, and finally he found a dead man. He's like, what the heck is going on with these people? Why is there stuff coming out your nose? What is up with this old dude? Why does he look like our president? And then there's, wait, hey, sir, starts poking him with a stick. Sir, get up. You're leaking, bro. You're leaking. Siddhartha became sad when he realized that he and all of his family would one day die. He decided to do something about this, and he left the palace for good and looked for a way to end life's sufferings. All right, go ahead and answer these questions right now. Should be done with the questions. Now, Siddhartha has left the palace. Let's see what he does next. Siddhartha found the yogis, a group of dudes who were trying to achieve enlightenment. Everyone say enlightenment through deprivation, meaning they never ate and meditated all day long. Siddhartha joined them and fasted for 6 years. So for 6 years, he barely had any food. He pretty much just had water. Okay? Very little food. Man, I could not live like this. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Siddhartha realized that he was way too hungry to ever achieve enlightenment, so he decided to keep up with his meditations, but began eating bowls of rice milk. Ooh, that looks like arroz con leche right there. Which just sounds like a smart thing to do, right? Get a little bit of nourishment in, you got to feed the body and the mind. Siddhartha believed that the key to life was balancing between indulgence. Indulgence is when you want things, and deprivation. Deprivation is when you stop yourself from wanting things. So, for example, Mr. Fuentes wants Oreos. Now, he wants to eat the whole packet of Oreos. That would be to indulge in the packet. Or Mr. Fuentes could deprive himself and never eat an Oreo. Both of those options are bad. If I eat the whole packet, bad. If I never eat an Oreo, bad. So, what's the solution? Eat 3 Oreos and put away the package. I know it's hard, but you gotta do it. Maybe 5. How about 6? Possibly 7? Okay, 8. We'll call it 8. I'm gonna go have some Oreos right now. Excuse me. Siddhartha found a fig tree and meditated under the fig tree for 49 days. And at the age of 35, achieved enlightenment. He officially became the Buddha. Everyone say, Buddha. So he meditates under this tree, he achieves spiritual enlightenment, and he's basically transcends to basically God mode. The Buddha went back to his fasting friends, the yogis, and taught them his 4 noble truths. They accepted his teachings and became his first followers. Kind of how Jesus had the 12 disciples. Well, Buddha has these first followers. The Buddha traveled across India for 45 years, preaching and gathering followers. His teachings were recorded and spread orally. In 483 BC, the Buddha died at the age of 80. Look how long he lived. Afterwards, his followers spread Buddhism across East Asia, starting here in India, over to China, Korea, Japan, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Indonesia. Buddhism spread all over Asia. All right, go ahead and answer these questions right here. You done with the questions by now? So, the Buddha had now discovered enlightenment. Buddhism is spreading all over the world. But the question is, what caused Buddhism to spread so quickly? We know that Jesus had a message of loving people. Islam had a message that God would protect those who follow the path of Islam. So, what was Buddhism teaching? Well, Buddhism has what's called the 4 noble truths. And here they are. Get ready because I'm about to hit you with some real stuff. Truth number 1, life is suffering. When you live, you suffer. According to Buddhism, we suffer because we crave things like Oreos. Mr. Fuentes is suffering because he's craving Oreos. We can escape the cycle of suffering. So I am suffering right now because I cannot have the thing that I want, which are Oreos. In order for me to escape that, I need to stop craving and control my mind and focus on other things. And therefore, I will achieve enlightenment. That is basically the gist of uh, the 4 noble truths. Now, the 4 noble truths end with the eightfold path. All right. Well, before we get there, you got to answer these questions. Go answer these questions. Okay. So now we've gone over the 4 noble truths. Let's go over the eightfold path. Let's see if these are good or bad ideas. The first path, you must have the right view, meaning you understand the 4 noble truths. You understand that life is suffering. You understand the cause of suffering, and you understand the truth of the end of suffering and the truth of the path leading to the end of suffering. Basically, you understand that you're going to suffer and it's because you're craving things. Second path, you must have the right intent. Think about why you are doing something. Look at this robber right here. Yes, I robbed the bank, but I had the best of intentions. Now, right intent could be good for some things, but in other situations, even if you have the best intentions, you're still going to go to jail. Okay? But just make sure that you have the right intention in mind when you do something. Don't try to be selfish, try to be selfless, try to be generous with people. Third path, you must have the right speech. Don't hurt people with your words. Calling someone dumb is not an example of using the right speech. This is something that we can all get better at. Fourth path, you must perform the right actions. You must do good and not evil. For example, do not harm living creatures, like burning ants with a magnifying glass. Do not steal. Do not engage in sexual misconduct. Just basically don't have sex before marriage. Do not lie. Do not get drunk or high. So again, do good, not evil. According to Buddhism, these things are evil. Fifth path, you must get a job that does good and not evil. So if your job is to steal things, you're not following the Buddhism. If your job is to provide for people, then that's good. Farmer good, robber bad. That's simple. Sixth path, you must put forward the right effort. Be positive and try your best. If you're just kind of like, whatever about things, you are not following the sixth path. You have to put in the effort that you possibly can. Now, if that's all you have, that's all you have, but you got to put in the right effort. Seventh path, you must practice the right mindfulness. Live in the present, not in your past mistakes. Just like Naruto here is training to become a sage, he must put aside his previous mistakes of getting his butt kicked by Orochimaru and Sasuke, and he must now focus on defeating pain. Oh, if you haven't watched it by now, well, that sucks to be you. Go watch it. Eighth path, you must practice concentration. Focus on one thing at a time. You shouldn't be thinking about all these different things or doing all these things at once. Focus on one thing and get that one thing done. Buddhists believe that if you practice the Eightfold Path, you will achieve what they call nirvana. Everyone say nirvana, and that is enlightenment. All right, so now you're going to answer this question. Do you believe that the teachings of the Eightfold Path can help humans live a more fulfilling life on Earth? Why?